department's there.
Hey, everydayers, for your second listen, enjoy the Locked On NBA podcast.
Yeah.
No offseason in the NBA, and Locked On NBA provides daily basketball analysis from national and local experts in 30 minutes or less. No one keeps you as informed and entertained as Locked On NBA. Available on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And final segment here at Locked On Rockets, your daily podcast, home for everything Rockets basketball.
Frost and Fury on perfect score. The spirits at the heart of the failure have meetings. I answer their call.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Your hunger for battle is too weak to overcome.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Perfection. There are no rules within you.
No, we have a roster now.
You know what's funny too is we didn't even give Steven Adams half a thought when we did the funniest on the line. He is absolutely, when we do this again down the line, at some point, Steven Adams is 110% giving Tari Eason some run for his money as the funniest guy on the roster.
Bodies are not vessels. They are anchors.
Minions have spawned.
But wait, that's why I said honorable mention, because he's been cool.
You know, I'm gonna have to go drag. I'm gonna go find Boban's headshot. Just I'll plop him like right behind Tari, like peeking over his shoulder or something when we publish this officially. I like the Steven Adams pick. You're right. We haven't seen him play in a Rockets jersey yet. We've only interviewed him.
I will not forget the good use protector. Creatures of the framing walk in the footprints of the dead.
Okay, you think it's so easy? Like I'm thinking these guys are all at least within range of each other. You're just going like hands down. I mean, Thompson, that's
Protective nature, son. Spirit.
What the fuck?
For many years I thought I was nervous. I still was.
could have been 3 if Madison had his way. If he wanted to piss everybody off.
First blood.
That's what this was really about.
It was also a suggestion. You know what? I'm making sure. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get to the next one. Best handles on the roster. I kind of think this is a little bit of a toss-up. So, and I think it's 2 clear guys. I think it's got to be between Fred and Jalen.
I did not truly know the failure until I left it.
Jalen, I think, they want the crossovers, and that's Jalen. But I think
Weapons are for the weak.
But I think we got
Yo, nay.
Meditation's quiet.
He's got the best. That still hits, he hits a little sauce sometimes. Like, that's not,
An enemy has been slain.
But you're right, Jalen's the guy who up the crazy, drive from one end of the court to the other.
enemy has been slain.
Alpi's though, it's less about the handle for Alpi and more just about his finesse and his footwork, which makes the handle look insane.
Twice I have loved, twice I have left.
We'll give this honor to Fred though.
Cannot escape our inferno.
Who's the second best shooter on the roster?
Brady B.
You're giving it to Fred?
I do not think I like
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Many falls, one strike.
each stab goes into the next. Watch.
Slain an enemy.
I see the world through the eyes.
Always. You gotta hit every sound.
Hell yeah.
I forgot I had that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
There we go. Oh, hell yeah. What else do I have on here? Hang on.
Yeah, I did some.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh, man. Nah, you froze on your end. All right. Okay. Yeah, you froze. No, you're back now. We didn't leave it all in. I can't cut out the Alpha
The
sound
seal
bites. All right.
sister blesses with water and salt.
No contest there. Although, I would say...
Cavern is not your own, Dragon.
Oh, man. All right.
Hollow fox
Last
keep you.
spot we got on this list. Best role player on the team.
Try anything. You cannot outrun me.
Right now.
Following instinct alone is no way to live.
And I think he took a major step last year. But this is the year I think he
Ordinary lives hold beauty.
Before, like, I don't want to paint him into a corner, put him into a box, and say, this is what you are. I still think there's more...
Killing spree.
One of the toughest assignments when he is in the game. He causes chaos on the defensive end of the floor.
Rebels act on instinct, not choice.
Griffin finished with 3 spots. Kane also finished with
Double kill.
4-1 AJ Griffin. Hopefully, he can prove me and Justin wrong and many other Rocket fans wrong.
Bad spirit. Your place is through me. Faith brings hope.
That's going to do it for another edition of Locked On Rockets. As always, thank you so much for checking out the show. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing wherever you listen to your podcasts or on YouTube. Be sure to
Are not the same.
know how we did.
One
Rampage.
needs
But as
how.
always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to having you back right here.
Hey, Prime members.
Stagnant failure.
Unstoppable.
Why did you go?
Each sand goes into the next.
This is Mike Richmond from Locked On Whites. Now they have everything.
Has been slain.
I see the world through the eyes of those I protect.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
On today's show, we're tackling a Houston Rockets NBA grid. Who's the most underrated player on the roster? What about the most overrated player? Who's the best? Who's the worst? Who's the funniest? All 16 categories. It's all coming up on today's Locked On Rockets.
Demigods cannot be trusted with battles. Bad spirit. Your place is through me.
Dominating. An enemy has been slain.
Subscribe. As always, thank you so much for making
Weapons are for the weak.
An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
mad at me. Marvelous. We're going to have some fun on today's episode. I'm going to be completely up.
The seal system blesses one.
Killing spree.
You cannot outrun me.
So we're going to navigate through like
Your place is through me. This life is my burden, and my last blessing.
has destroyed a turret.
Some real juice. It might be really
I
fun.
am of no tribe. Winter's crawl is never
Has been slain.
fight alone.
Double kill. An enemy has been slain.
AJ Griffin as most overrated on the roster. Now hear me out, right? When AJ Griffin, when this trade happened, people were putting
Your team has destroyed a turret. An
Why did
enemy
I
has
fight
been
this?
slain.
Weapons are for the weak.
there's a reason the Hawks let the Rockets basically have him for nothing. So I
Damn, that was nice.
And I feel like people kind of
That
just
was a nice
gloss
game.
over that when they talk about his potential.
I'll give it to
like
Yum.
those weaknesses. The biggest weaknesses
Fuck it.
in his shooting. Also, I think a very underrated weakness for him. I don't think it's a weakness at all. Is his handle. Like I've talked to real, you know, die-hard
Damn, that was
analysts who
nice.
just
That was nice. That
scoff
was
at
nice.
the handle. Like, no, there's no problem there. And I feel like the way people talk about him, they just see the athleticism, see the electrifying player, and just kind of gloss over his weaknesses and kind of put him in a tier above these above other guys. When I feel like, hey, if we're being honest, if we're really projecting forward, like it's gonna be tough for that shot to come around. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on that handle. You know what I mean? So let's just, calm it down. So that's where it comes from. Not that Amin's gonna be a great player, gonna be a borderline all-star player. But my gripe comes when people just pencil him in as this superstar player. I'm gonna get killed for this, but hey, listen, we're having some fun.
You are absolutely going to get destroyed for that. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna save you and I'm gonna save me. I'm executive. Yeah, AJ Griffin's going up on this
It's
graph.
also
If I put
fair
Amit
that
Thompson on this graph,
No.
my goodness.
Put AJ Griffin up there.
Oh, man.
But
Alright.
food for thought, guys. Food for thought.
All right, AJ Griffin has made it onto the graph for most overrated. I'm saving Madison and I the flack from when I eventually post social media. All right, we got a couple more that we're going to get to in this segment before moving on to the next categories. We got best player on the roster. I feel like this has got to be a pretty easy answer, right?
Yeah, man, Operation Gold. I think we enough said. That's just what it is. It's Operation Gold.
sometimes I am so happy.
There we go. All right, we're going to be real easy with that one. LP gets the nod for best player on the roster. We're going to line him right up in there. Nice and easy. All right, this one probably a little bit harder to figure out. Worst player on the roster right now. Now, I feel like there could be a very easy out to this, and you pick like one of the two-way guys. We're going to limit it to the standard NBA contracts. So worst player of the standard contracts. I can take it first if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead, because I definitely got two-way guys.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead. No, yeah, that's all right. I'm a double check.
It pains me to do it.
Oh, no, I know exactly what I'm thinking.
You said it with so much confidence. I'm gonna have to go with Tate. I'm gonna have to go with Tate. And it's not that he is the worst of the active roster. There's a reason that we really didn't see him except for spot minutes last season when injuries were racking up, whatever. There's a reason he's no longer part of the rotation. He's a 6'4" wing that still can't really shoot the ball. He can play make, he can defend, he can do a little bit of everything on the floor. But unfortunately for this Rockets roster, I think he's probably down there at the bottom. Now, I could have probably gone for AJ Griffin in this mention as well, but I feel like that's some very low-hanging fruit when I start looking at some of these other categories, because we got another category later on that I might have to save AJ Griffin for, and I can't fill up half this chart with AJ Griffin. That'd be just bullying at that point.
No, yeah, I would have picked AJ as well, just because he actually does have a roster spot, and I just feel like Jay Sean's probably
You know what? That's fair. Jay Sean Tate is a better NBA player than AJ
Yes,
Griffin.
he
That's
is.
not fair.
Come
Okay.
on, man. Like,
all right,
he is.
you know,
Especially after the summer league we just watched. Come on, man.
all right, okay, fine. All right, AJ Griffin wins. It's so awkward too because he's still wearing the Hawks jersey in this. So like, I'm just dragging like Hawks AJ Griffin onto this graph over and over. We're gonna have to figure out the over-under on how many times AJ Griffin's gonna be on the rest of this chart. Hey, you know what? We're gonna figure that out on the other side. Coming up, who's the funniest, who's the most annoying, the most potential, the most wasted potential. I spent it. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your #1 ride or die, you always find exactly what you're looking for.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts that you need to exactly want, it's easy to make your car the MVP. Keep your ride on ebaymotors.com.
Imagine, it comes to me.
Only available to U.S. customers.
Hi, I'm Jake from Locked On. There's a lot to say when buying a new home or car, but really the first words you want to say are, like a good neighbor.
Minions have spawned.
And trust me, as someone named Jake, that is a fact. That's the phrase that will help you feel good.
Fucking pray again?
Help you find the right coverage for the things you want to protect. Insurance doesn't need to be complicated with a State Farm agent. With so many coverage options, it feels good knowing you can find what fits you because your situation is unique. And State Farm is there to help you feel secure with the coverage you need for your car.
Your commands tire me.
It's like those RVs and other things that matter to you. And when you need ways to get help, don't be angry because State Farm gives you options there too. In person or on the phone with your local agent or on StateFarm.com where their award-winning app, State Farm lets you do things.
Yes.
So when you need help protecting the things that matter most, remember to say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And continuing on here at Locked On Rockets, your daily podcast home for everything Houston Rockets basketball, where we're filling out our Houston Rockets NBA.
It's only a short way. It's very short way.
Best player, worst player, AJ Griffin. We gotta set this over. How many more times do we think we're gonna use AJ Griffin on this chart, Madison? I think it's gonna be at least one more time.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make another appearance.
All right, okay, all right.
For the good reason.
Who do we think is the funniest player on the roster?
I think this was pretty easy. I think there's a
goes, man, I just told him God loves you.
Yes!
He said, God loves all of us. And so,
Oh my god.
First blood.
all lost it in the media scrum. Tari is absolutely
An
hilarious.
enemy has been slain.
This guy on the roster. Let's label him Dragon.
You like it, man? Follow me!
Funniest Houston roster. Most annoying.
Dylan Brooks. Mr. Annoying.
Dylan the villain.
Dylan, literally the villain. Whether he's annoying.
It's only a short
players
way.
staring
It's
at the
got a short
sideline,
jump.
all the things they face during the game, or annoying with his shot selection. You're right.
Whether on or off the court, no one has his antics down like Dylan Brooks.
That's what I mean, right?
During the qualifier game between USA Canada or whatever, it was a friendly match, him walking in front of Anthony Edwards mid-interview, and Ant just paused for a second and like looked over at him. He is 99th percentile. He's top 2 in
I am evil! Stop laughing!
Dylan is like top 2 in the league. Let alone the Rockets. Annoying.
All right, next category.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Category on the roster. Yeah, I'll let you take first stab at it. Who you got?
Yeah,
I'm Snake Tip!
potential.
Say a main Thompson after saying who's the most. Watch.
No, for me, potential still goes to Jalen Green.
That's actually a hot pick as well.
Imagine! It comes to me!
Still Jalen Green. I mean, even though he has these incredible downs, he has also equally incredible ups, and those ups look like a top 5 player in this league. So a lot goes into, hey, do the Rockets have their number 1 guy? And there's a guy on the team.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more, right? First off, it's a guard team out in the NBA, right? That's one advantage that Jalen's always going to have over a guy like an Alperen Şengün, right? Is there's maybe a certain limit that you can get unless you're a guy that can, bring the ball up and do the offense for yourself. Like even Jokic to an extent, right?
You like it, man? Follow me!
Of themselves. I think it's very clear right now. There's most potential on this Rockets roster. He is like top tier outcome, right? If that's still on the table and still a possibility, that is a future
Stuck in gray again?
caliber player, all-star every year, and that's why Rockets fans are still holding out hope that he can reach some level of that upper end outcome. Absolutely. All right. I think we're getting ready for a three-peat here, Madison. Next up is most racist.
It's only a short way! It's got a short jump!
This is not a good look.
He's a lottery pick, man. He's a lottery pick.
No, it wasn't outside the lottery, because Tari was 17, he was 16. He was right before Tari was in the Atlanta Hawks.
That's what I mean, right?
But yeah, no, it has to be I feel like the jury's still out though. You know what I mean? They're on his rookie contract. For a team to give up on you for a second round pick. I highly count a first round pick. I think
I'm Snake Tip!
Look, so you gotta get the chart right. The production value, you gotta be perfect on the show. At the end of the day, right, nobody's right yet. And hopefully the spinning this in the most positive way possible, right, is that
Yes!
this is, sometimes you just need to new situation, and to get some buy-in from a new coach, get that confidence back, right, in play. There's a reason he was a highly touted prospect. There was a reason that he
Imagine! It comes to me!
like a really, really great experience for the Rockets. But now they have another chance to maybe, rehabilitate his value a little bit. Maybe he does find it. And then the Rockets are the most young, exciting wing in the NBA. If AJ Griffin
Stuck in gray again?
reality in here as well.
and let's be real, he's a young player. The potential is not.
An ally has been slain.
He'll have a lot of improvement to go. And
win out totally though because
Your commands
more
tired
positive
me.
categories. We're wrapping up we're not halfway through the chart. Our next category, and I think this is the best passer on the roster.
Yeah, man. I think the best pass has to go out. I think the top has started having some competition.
It's only a short way. It's not a short jump.
Give out via run for his money. Almond and
An enemy has been slain.
But right now, with actual NBA play minutes, it's definitely out there.
All right, I like
Killing spree.
Come to save me.
We saw part of that was him learning maybe more
That was a nice dodge.
trying to rein him in. He said he's had some Manu Ginobili at times, and some recklessness, right? You
I smell death.
the unpredictability of what Alfie does is what makes him special, especially with his passing. But you gotta learn how to do that in that first couple of years.
I listen to the fear in your heart.
Best perimeter defender.
What?
But Alvin really has, all-star upside on the defensive end, and it starts with the run. I wouldn't be surprised if Alvin gets enough minutes here. I think 30 minutes, he'll be all-star.
Imagine, it's close to me.
If he clears 30, now that's probably he's probably not clearing 30 minutes a night.
Rampage.
Thompson is not clearing 30 minutes a night, but that is a distinct possibility later on this season. That's
Yes.
starting spot. That's starting spot. I would not say down permanently for the future. Possibility that Dylan Brooks could be on the move, and then Marquise Norman Thompson. That's starting. Coming up, we've got the rest of our categories.
Stacking players here.
An enemy has been slain.
Other categories, we're going to get there in just one moment.
Hi, I'm Jake from Lockdown. There's a lot to say in buying a new car, but really the first words you want to say are, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And trust me,
It's only a
as
short
someone
way.
named Jake,
It's not a short joke.
That's the phrase that will help you feel good knowing that you have people who find the right coverage for the things you want to protect. Insurance doesn't have to be complicated with a State Farm agent. There's so many coverage options, it feels good knowing you can find what fits you because your situation is
Your
A
commands.
summoner has disconnected.
car, your home, and even pets, motorcycles, RVs, and other things that matter to you.
A summoner has reconnected.
Options there too, in person or on the phone with your local agent or
Passing in the way.
Killing spree.
State Farm lets you do things
An enemy has been slain.
protecting the things that matter most. Remember to say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey everyone, second listen in sports on NBA podcast. There's no off-season. NBA provides daily
Imagine.
An ally has been slain.
local experts in 30 minutes or less. No one keeps you as informed and entertained as Locked On NBA. Available on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Even now, you're not one suffer.
Podcast home for everything. Rockets basketball, working on our Houston Rockets NBA
You have slain an enemy. Unstoppable.
I think it's a clear. Well, I'm not thinking about that.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Definitely.
Victory!
I was caught up in thinking about last season.
Last year, right.
Okay.
It's like, no, we have a roster now.
You know what's funny
Steven
too is
Adams.
we didn't even give Steven Adams half a thought. He is absolutely wonderful. If we do this again down the line, at some point, Steven Adams is 110% giving Tari Eason some run run for his money as the funniest guy on the roster.
We should have probably gave Boban an honorable mention as too. Because
Boban's
he's
not
no
on the
longer on the
roster.
roster. I understand.
Yeah, okay.
I understand. But that's why I said honorable mention because he's been with the team.
I'm gonna go find Boban's headshot. And just I'll plop him like right behind Tari, like peeking over his shoulder or something when we publish this officially. I like the Steven Adams pick. You're right. We haven't seen him play in a Rockets jersey yet. We've only interviewed him. I think he's only spoken to the media like twice, honestly, since he got traded. Actually, it might have only been one time. Because again, there's not an expectation when you're injured. You don't have to do media, but he was willing to do it. It's a very kind gesture for him. So okay, I like that. That's for Steven Adams. I'm cool with that. Most easy.
Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football. Just me today. Well, not quite just me, as you'll find out in a second. As it's the final day of the transfer window, on today's episode I'm joined by David Ornstein, a football journalist who has become one of the most recognised, trusted and respected journalists for transfer news. He currently works for The Athletic. I won't give you his whole biography. In the transfer world. David, I know it's a mad week. We're recording this on Tuesday morning, 3 days before the window. This will go out on transfer window day. So we've been waiting for you to conclude some of your stories. What's been going on this morning?
Yeah, we've had to delay a little bit because
Welcome
it's been
to Summoner's
start
Rift.
of the day, a flurry of activity that only the final week of the window can dish up. And it's that Man United, at the time of recording,
30 seconds until
their
minions
agreement
spawn.
in place finally with Paris Saint-Germain to sign Manuel Ugarte as their first choice midfielder. So he's travelling over to Manchester, not far from where I'm speaking to you now actually, and he will undergo his medical and then be confirmed, all being well, as a Man United player. The deal is worth 50 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. PSG initially wanted a fixed 60 million euros, so Man United will feel that they've
Minions
done well
have
again
spawned.
for below their impression.
First
By
blood.
PSG taking a 10%
One
share
down.
of any future sell-on. And in tandem, Scott McTominay is advancing in his departure from Manchester United, so he's expected to travel to Italy today to complete a proposed move to Napoli for £25 million, sort of around 30 million euros. And that will be really important for Man United on this lovable phrase, ESR, FFP, financial fair play. It will allow them to balance the books. And in and amongst that, there's all sorts of other bits going on. Eddie Nketiah edging to move to Crystal Palace from Arsenal. Will Mark Guehi finally make that move from Crystal Palace to Newcastle United? What are Chelsea going to do before this deadline? Tons going on, but it's actually hit a lull just as we come on this recording. So you might have to say.
Well, let's hope so. Or you might get a story as we're
as possible.
Talking. It started out, you wanted to be a footballer yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Following your footsteps. Ironically, or coincidentally, or shamefully, you tell me which, I used to get chased around the playground before I first school. My ears were quite notable.
That's something we do have in common, eh?
They called me Gary Lineker.
No way.
In like games of Kiss Chase.
Did you take that as a compliment or an insult?
At the time, I don't want to massage your ego, but actually I do just have to take a call now. Let me listen to this and I'll be straight back.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that, guys.
No problem at all. You were interrupted there. That lull didn't last for very long. I was lip reading though, David. I was lip reading. I'm sure I saw you say something like, Lamine Yamal confirmed to sign for Man City. Is I right or wrong?
It's a done deal. You heard it first. And the fact that this goes out on Friday, Gary, means it could well be the transfer that just never materialized.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Can you let us know a bit of insight?
That was on Nketiah. I think it's progressing towards a conclusion. To Crystal Palace, I think it's going to be a £30 million deal. It's not done yet. But that was indicating that things are moving in the right direction. You're always a bit reticent because because until the shirt is being held up and the ink is dry and they're playing for their new team, it isn't done, and that does frustrate a lot of the people involved because the reporting often front runs the reality. But in many of these cases, you are reporting accurately, and hopefully always the reality is at the time. But we'll come back to that later. We were talking about Kish Chase in the playground.
we were. So it went from there and obviously then into journalism. How did you end up in this crazy world of the transfer business?
So when you're in school and you start doing work experience, I managed to get to radio. Radio at the time had an arm called Capital Gold that produced the best football radio anywhere, in my opinion, with the likes of Jonathan Pearce and Mark Pugat and so many others. And I loved it. I went in on my weekends after the work experience and learned how radio journalism, football commentary and reporting work. And from then on it just proliferated. I went to Bournemouth University, did a journalism degree, down there, did tons of different styles of work experience, magazines, newspapers, radio stations, television, online, you name it, match day clubs, programs, and eventually got onto traineeship at The Guardian newspaper after a stint just working for free, being the optimum word, at Haters News Agency, where many of the top journalists have come through, and many journalists have stopped. It's a great moving ground, and they're still going strong. Did other stints at the London Evening Standard, the Sunday Telegraph. My year at The Guardian was amazing. Somehow got on to that traineeship just by convincing myself I would have no chance. These jobs only go to Oxford, Cambridge students, and that was my preconception. And then I was basically just used as a sports reporter, football, rugby, cricket, tennis. And when there was no employment there at the end of the 1 year traineeship, that's when I did like Evening Standard. And then managed to get onto that. You know, from those days, it was based at Television Centre, working on all aspects of written journalism, reporting, interviews, features. You would have the odd opportunity to maybe on 5 Live if you had a story, if they were trying to spread the journalism from one platform to another. And I was sort of part of the wave of journalists where instead of one journalist working for print and one for radio, one for television, you get one for all 3 disciplines. And coinciding with that, Gary, was the rise of the transfer market, which was sort of gathering momentum. You had guys like Jim White on Sky Sports News with his yellow tie, becoming bigger business. And just the nature of my interest was just to get hold of information, to speak to people, to make connections, relationships, contacts, pick up phone numbers, email addresses, try and find out what's happening. I just remember the thrill of it all was good fun. And so transfer stories became a bit of a passion, and then it just proliferated, you know?
It used to be called, didn't it, the old-fashioned scoop, wasn't it, for newspapers? But did you ever envisage the world, what it's become now?
There was no social media then, so this was 2006. And you just had the utmost respect for newspaper journalists. That was all that really existed at that time, who were breaking exclusives. You would pick up the tabloids or the broadsheets and you would see a big story. Or maybe you would go on teletext or feedback a couple of weeks after the day when I think it was announced that Arsenal were signing Thierry Henry from Juventus, and like minutes later it updated with Arsenal signing Davor Suker from Real Madrid. Some of the biggest football stories and sports stories were revealed.
An enemy has been slain.
And then television programs like Sky Sports News provided another platform to hear things and see things. Just happens to be the same example here in terms of the club. It was Arsenal when, out of the blue, Sol Campbell was walking through the London Colony training ground live on Sky Sports News, I think, with David Dean. It was an Arsenal press conference day, and I remember coming home from school to watch it. But I didn't know, nobody knew it was going to be Sol Campbell unveiling. So that was what it was at the time. I remember when I was on the BBC, they used around 2009, and one of our reporters was following the posts into the BBC website. In the live text commentary, and that was when I started to take people who worked with me at the BBC at the time will remember that I was the most cynical about this. And what's the point? Why don't you just post on the website? Why do you have to post on this platform?
I think their thinking's changed a little bit now as people tweet and this.
Well, yeah, indeed. That's how I started to get into it, social media. And then as the transfer market exploded, it became a way of promoting my stories, and wherever I was in the world, for the BBC or even in my own spare time, I would be doing bits and bobs around transfers, and maybe the big one that was in 2012. I say around, I think I know specifically. It's 24th of August. It's around now. It's really close to my birthday, which is 28th of August. It's always
Happy birthday to tomorrow.
It's always ruined by the transfer window. The 2 years Premier League quarter deadline to start. Now it's a nightmare. But was Robin van Persie moving from Arsenal to Manchester United, £24 million in 2012, and that was a scoop that I was able to break on social media, the BBC Sport website, and I went on television to report it as well. So finally I felt that I was in this world, but then from that, around the time of that pick up contacts and people respecting that they've seen having dealt with one story bit by bit.
You have been slain.
Building reputation for integrity and quality and accuracy and trust means that you get more and more. And now we're in a world, as you say, which I could never have imagined, where people, anybody can break stuff on X, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok, on Facebook, on their websites, on television, on radio, on podcasts. And the proliferation is just scary. And obviously, I didn't mention it, on traditional media as well, because there are many scoops broken by brilliant newspaper journalists every day, and they don't get the credit they deserve. But it's unrecognizable. And for me, you know, I'm turning 39 now, so I've been through more than a decade of the sort of traditional way, and now whether we like it, it's a case of adapt or die, and hopefully I'm an example of how you can adapt and still succeed, having the old school values. Back off. Modern day requirements.
Tell us how, I think everybody's really interested. How does it work? How sure do you have to be on your information before you actually go to print, to tweet?
An ally has been slain.
The process that I stopped the trader, it's the only thing I know. And that was learned really at Wharton University. I did that journalism course. It was then acquired and developed on extensive work experience. And then it was a rule in the places I worked, The Guardian, the BBC, Shaw, the Athletic. And I would like to think everything from up and down the country and around the world. Clearly there are different or no rules when it comes to social media and people with their own websites and influencers and things like that. They're not governed by editorial guidelines, but by so you need to at least source all of your information. Now, of course, there can be conversations to be had if you're, say, speaking to the person who's just resigned as manager of Manchester United or with them or something like that.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You can't talk to somebody at a club who is somebody else. You speak to both of them, you go back to your editor and say, oh, I've got two. You know, if you're speaking to somebody at one club, you then need to speak to somebody at another club or a governing body or the person themselves. And these sources could be players, could be family members, all the way up to kit person, medic, director, sporting director, technical director, chief executive, owner.
An ally has been slain.
Press officer.
There are spies everywhere.
And you often don't know, you know, it could be somebody that you come across in your daily life, a dentist or a postman or...
So you'd listen to a dentist. The dentist said to you, I've just heard that Miami is signing up. You go, oh right, you turn on board, or then you go, well, because you must hear a million rumours, and as we all do.
So the Athletic did an advert a few Christmases ago, any source is a source, and the essence is true. So a tip, a bit of information can come from anywhere, and I respect that at every level, and I have conversations with people at no age, different organizations, governing bodies, players, agents, you name it, and the same seriousness as I would speaking to the head of the governing body of the club. That information then needs to be confirmed.
Enemy killing spree.
It's involved in an injury, new contract.
Enemy rampage.
It has to be at least two people who are privy to it and have firm information. And then after that,
An ally has been slain.
you try and get more detail because things may have changed or might be slightly different. And then at the end, or towards the end, you go and speak to the club. Communication officer. Depending on how well you know them, you may go quite early in the process if you trust them and work together before publication. Some maybe you don't know so well, or they may want to publish it themselves once they know that you're onto a story. They might try and stop a story or not tell the truth about a story, so maybe you leave that basically to tell the story. So with me, most of the public communications directors and things I've got good relationships with that I've built up over time. I know that I won't go to them unless I fully check
Your turret has been destroyed.
on the money. And at that point,
An enemy
sometimes
is
they don't want to
unstoppable.
cooperate, and that's fine. But most of the time they do. Sometimes they object. Something changed, something not quite right. Could you wait for something really
What's a typical day during the transfer window in your life?
So there's no script, there's no syllabus, anything I do go in terms of where the stories come from.
Defeat.
Journalists or peers, even more experienced journalists who I talk to and they ask for advice. I really want to do what you do, or could you give me some tips on how you do it? It's not what I was trained, or there isn't a training for it. A lot of it is on feel and instinct and experience, and you make errors over time. You try things, you learn from your mistakes, and you sort of plot a way through. So it can be any time, any place, anywhere. And by the way, and it's really important to say this, like on your last point about making sure you're right, like if you're not right, don't do the story. Err on the side of caution. And maybe I've built up a reputation for whenever I do something, it's accurate. But that's because when I'm not sure about stuff, and that's a lot of the time, I just hold back. Don't do it. It's better to take your time and be right than rush it and be wrong. And we're not always 100% accurate, but you can limit it by doing things the right way. And when you lose stories to other journalists or other publications, that's fine. You win some, you lose some. It's the nature of the beast. It's not life and death.
I'm going to give you the opportunity now to check your phone.
Yeah.
While we take a quick break, we'll find out if you've got another scoop when we come back. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with just me, Gary Lineker, today with special guest David Ornstein, who's looking at his phone as we speak, making sure that he's not missing any possible stories. You must really look forward to the end of the transfer window and getting some sleep, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's always an eagerly anticipated moment in the year. So January not too bad because it's only a month. The summer is taxing and draining because it's not just that it starts in June, it's really starting in March, April, May as the clubs are getting their plans finalised and deals are already starting to move. I remember in particular on the Erling Haaland to Manchester City one, that was gathering pace from February with meetings between City and Borussia Dortmund and his representatives and others. I remember Liverpool and Ibrahima Konate, they lined up before the transfer window. I broke that and then it's just kind of executing it during the market.
Do you ever get clubs call you, David? Do you ever get clubs, like when you say I broke that story, do you ever get clubs complaining that you broke the story too soon, you've killed it, or does anything ever happen like that, or do they just accept now this is the world and how it is?
I'm really particular and methodical in my process, and I don't like to be in a position, and I've learned from mistakes over the years, where you're getting the phone call afterwards complaining at how you handled something, what you said, how you said it. That mortifies me. I was once in the gym after doing a story the next morning and I was really happy with myself because I thought I'd done it all properly, and someone called me up absolutely raging. And from that moment on, I've taken a different approach where I do every single check and turn over every stone before that piece is published. And that means that everyone knows it's coming. Even if they don't like it, they've had the chance to contribute, to add a right of reply, to have their say, and nobody can... They can still be shocked by the strength of the public reaction to a story, but I even say to them, literally, I don't want you coming to me afterwards and complaining, speak now or forever hold your peace type thing. And that has served me really well. But yes, so looking forward to the end of the window for sure. It does leave a bit of a vacuum though, Gary, because you've been absolutely